Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 of your pharmacy software course. This week we are covering chapter 3. Chapter 3 is all about inputting inventory. So this week when you go into your software, when you actually get ready to start working through these problems, you're going to go to the screen that says DG. DG is drug, so drug screen. So here's where you're going to go to get started on this particular week. So they're going to go through the chapter and they're going to tell you a little bit about, how to search the list, how to find something. So we can pick pretty much anything. Let me just try hydrocortisone. Okay, so you can see we can look for hydrocortisone cream, and they have hydrocortisone cream, they have lotion, they have ointment, and then they have some other preparations that are combination drugs as well. And so you can use this to double check to see if you have a particular item in stock. Okay. Quantity on hand here in this column is going to give you that piece of information. So they're going to go through and they're going to talk about how to check to see what you've got, how to enter a new drug in case it's not there. And it's really important as you go through and you're entering to make sure that you're entering everything correctly. A lot of these fields are going to be very important information as we start to fill the prescription. So a lot of great information in this particular chapter that you're going to want to make sure to pay special attention to. And we'll hop over to the chapter pages here in just a few minutes. So I just wanted to point out to you, first of all, though, that this is the screen that you're going to be looking at. This is where you're going to be starting everything this week when it comes to, checking your search list to see what do I have, what do I need, and that type of thing. So this particular week, one of the first drugs that you're going to look up is Lopressor. When you go to exercise 1 this week, it's going to have you look for drugs to see if they're in the system. And if they're not, they want you to go back and use all of these things that you've learned this week to enter them into the system. Okay, so keep that in mind, that the idea here is that you're checking for the drugs and then entering them if they're not there. And then you're going to be taking a screenshot once you've done that entire entering process. So let's take a quick look at the actual chapter. Okay, and I'm gonna skip to the assignment real fast, and then we're going to kind of go back and look at some other things. So the first thing is this particular invoice. They're having you check the invoice to see, do you have this drug in the system? So here's that first one, Lopressor. And it's telling you that if you don't have it in the system, you need to enter them. So you're going to check the drug label against the invoice. Okay, so if the label and the invoice match and the drug's not in the computer, you're going to enter them. So when you go to the next page, that's where the labels are. So these are the prescriptions that are the drugs that you're going to enter into the system. So you're going to enter everything that you're required to enter about this particular drug, Lopressor. And then once you've done that, and let's just pick one. Let me just pick a drug here. Let's just look at loperamide since we know it's there. Okay, so here is loperamide. And okay, so once we're actually on the drug and we've entered it, you can see that I'll have a screen and it'll have all of that information in it. So once you're at this point and you've got the drug entered, you're just going to do a print screen of this screen and paste it into your Word document for exercise 1. And you're going to do that for each of the drugs that are on the invoice. Okay, so that's what you're doing for exercise 1. And then exercise 2 is basically just a reminder. It's saying refer to those labels in exercise 1, check the generic name, and be sure to include the generic or brand for each of the drugs on the search list. So what they're saying is, on that list that you just went through, you need to make sure you have both brand and generic in each of those screens that you're copying and pasting. Okay, so there is nothing for you to copy paste or print screen for exercise 2. However, when you get to exercise 3, what I want you to do on this piece is to make a list. So you're going to make a list of all of the drugs from exercise 1, and you're going to list the brand name, the generic name, and then the storage information. So that's what you're going to turn in for exercise 3 is a list of these 10 drugs, brand name, generic name, and storage information. Okay, and so if you can't read the storage information, if you can't see it on the label, they're providing you with information on this website where you can go and find that information. So that's what you're going to be turning in for exercise 3. So exercise 1 is screenshots of each drug after it's been entered into the system. Nothing for exercise 2, because in exercise 3, you're going to list brand name, generic name, and storage information for all 10 drugs. Okay? So you should have 10 screenshots for exercise 1 and a list of 10 drugs for exercise 3. All right? Now, the other thing I wanted to point out this week is to make sure, let's just go back to the beginning of the chapter. As you go through these chapters, make sure that you're not only reading the things that tell you about the screens and where to enter stuff and things like that, but also make sure that you are paying very special attention to these brown boxes that give you the specific notes. For example, this is all about the NDC code. This is going to be very, very important for you to understand how an NDC code works. So make sure that you read these brown boxes. And as always, if you're going through anything in the chapter and you're unsure about something, you have a question about something, please make sure that you're reaching out to me, and hope you have a great week.